this week via Google Hangout to some folks in other cities that are already making that happen from very different perspectives. A person from Detroit and a person from Austin, Texas. Take a look. Thank you guys both for joining us. We have here today with us Achille Bianchi from Detroit. And Achille, you're a journalist, correct?
Yes.
And Steve Berkew, Steve, you're down in Austin, coming to us
Yes.
from Texas. You're a local business owner. And we'll start with you, Steve. Something people may have, they may know about you that they didn't know, maybe on the car in front of them at the stoplight that says, "Keep Austin weird."
Santa Cruz, Louisville, Erie, Pennsylvania, lots of copiers.
But you're the original. We're glad to have you here. Here in St. Louis, we have what I like to call the 1904 complex sometimes, because in 1904 we were the fourth largest city. We had the World's Fair and any other number of things that we have. If you can make the argument on certain statistics, we've been declining ever since, so to speak. Does Detroit have an issue with its past greatness? Do you have a complex there at all in Detroit?
I'm 27 years old. I think my generation doesn't. I think our parents' generations do. They remember Detroit as being this like remarkable place that's just filled with people and places to go and things to do, which it still is, of course. But I think that because we don't have that reference point, that we don't care as much about it.
We have it a lot easier. See, when you guys were having World's Fairs, we were fighting Comanches. So really, it's all pretty much forward for the whole time. We haven't had a chance to go backward yet.
What is Austin doing right, do you think, that gives it a pretty positive reputation?
Well, I mean, first place, the city does support locally owned businesses. I believe that locally owned businesses have a huge impact on the pride that is necessary to have civic pride.
Achille, I saw you nodding your head when he was talking about local businesses. Does that ring true with you in Detroit?
I think it gives a lot of like artists and farmers and whoever, the ability to produce local products and keep them in the city, keep those dollars like turning over in the city, and then in the state overall too, because what helps the city helps the state.
I've made a few friends from Detroit, and there is definitely a sense of civic pride, as we're calling it this week, about what's going on in your city. Fair to say, though, that's not always the external perception, maybe?
But I think the thing that surprises people most when they get to this city is just the sense of community that we all have, and like kind of like the spirit of collaboration and the willingness to work together. It's like we've gone through iterations of solutions in this city, and I think we've come at a point where collaboration is key. And I think, if we really want to get some stuff done, we need to pull together. If you take the Detroit Works projects and the city's Detroit Future City framework that was just released last week, massive urban planning framework, just like a huge 2-year undertaking. But just like the man and women hours that put that together, to basically draft a framework that's going to take us 50 years into the future. They had research and development from all across the board, and then they really dug in and got into the community and tried to get what they felt and just like incorporate those opinions into the framework.
Yeah, it's obviously critically important that the city be doing something that's supportive of this, that makes the citizenry actually happy to be in the city and participating. More participation, the better, actually.
So is it important to you that Detroit be seen differently from the outside?
It is important, and we do like to, kind of see ourselves as like becoming a model city for like, urban agriculture or like industrial diversity, what have you. But I think that it's not as important as people think, but it's definitely a factor.
In terms of civic pride, I mean, I think that it does have an impact. I mean, I think that people feel better if the other people are validating whatever it is they think is good about their city.
Okay, so what would you recommend to a St. Louis audience? Achille, we'll start with you. If we want to improve upon our civic pride at all, what would you say to us?
I recommend focusing on what's local and what's there in St. Louis that's different. What's not everywhere else.
When cities are evaluating, what they have within their boundaries, I think considering their assets is the probably one of the most important factors of it. And assets not being like buildings and parks, but how those buildings and parks can work for the people in the city. People are the assets. I think you could probably agree with that, Steve, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.